Hi everybody, welcome back to our movement series, Mobility Sessions in My Living Room. Today I wanted to focus on mobilizing and releasing the areas for our runners out there. We've been doing a lot of running the past 2 weeks in our home workouts, so I'd like to take a class to focus on that. We're going to go and release the ankles, the lower limbs, the adductors as they are major stabilizers for runners and squatters, and then we're going to go after the upper traps and the first rib. A lot of us towards the end of our runs, I don't think we notice, but we end up here and we need to relax and release a lot of that tension so that later on in life we don't get tension headaches, neck pain, or those situations. So I look forward to going through all of this with you, and let's have some fun. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is roll out the bottom of our feet. For those of you who have come to class on Saturday mornings, you know this one. You're going to start with the lacrosse ball at the base of the forefoot where your arch meets the ball of your foot. What I'd like you to do is get all your body weight up and over that ball, and you're going to windshield wiper from the inside and the outside 10 times. Your heel is on the floor and you're putting pressure through your heel so that you can feel that ball mobilize the raise of your forefoot. After 10 of those, bring that ball underneath your body, and now you're going to point the toe, touch the toes to the floor, and now flex the foot, touch your heel to the floor. You're going to feel that ball mobilize and release that medial arch. You can go a little bit to the outside of the foot. You can bring the ball a little bit more towards the inside of the foot. We're going through all of the tissue underneath for 10 repetitions. You're going to notice that ball gets away from you and that pressure, you kind of lose some of that pressure, so keep that ball right underneath you. And after that, you're now going to find the ball where the arch of your foot meets your heel, almost like you're in a high heel, and you're going to put the body weight over that ball and you're going to windshield wiper in and out. A lot of us have little bone spurs right here, so plantar fascia. Doesn't mean you have plantar fasciitis or anything like that, but you can sometimes feel a little lump in there, and that's what we're breaking down. 10 oscillations here. We're going to switch sides. Same thing on the other side. Okay, now you're going to find yourself back on the floor. The ball is going to be on the outside of your shin, and we're going to mobilize this nice stabilizing, this decelerator of a muscle on the outside of your shin bone. So you're going to sit in a side sit, 1 foot in front of you longwise, and you're going to roll that ball up and down all of that meat, all of that tissue on the outside of the shin. From the outside of the ankle all the way to the top of the knee. Now be careful right here because we have a superficial nerve that can kind of create a zinger if you go over it, so try and stay just shy of that. Now I just found something pretty tender right here, so I'm going to flex and point my foot for a good 5 or 6 times, and then I'll move on. Also feel free to go forward and backwards as you're moving up and down the leg to release that tissue. Good job. Spend another 10 seconds here or so. Great. Go ahead and pause the tape, rewind it a little bit, and then do the other side. Okay, the next thing we're mashing out is our calves and our soleus. So you can either use the lacrosse ball like we have been, or you can find yourself a foam roller. If you're using the ball, it looks like this. You're going to get that ball underneath that calf. You're going to roll all around. Remember, there's no wrong way to do this. Go from the inside of the foot or leg to the outside of the leg, from above the knee all the way to where the Achilles forms into the heel. Again, you can use the other leg to tack down the tissue, get a little bit more pressure. If you find something that's tender, you can point and flex. And we're going to spend about a minute on this tissue. If you don't want to use your lacrosse ball and you want to use your foam roller, it's the same thing. You can even get some more pressure through that tissue by raising your hips up. I call this the Jay Jackson special right here. He's pretty much mastered this movement. Oh, found something a little tender. I'm going to point and flex. Good. Now I'm going to go to the inside of the calf. Ooh, that's a little tender too. I'm going to point and flex. Good. Go through that tissue for at least a minute, and then pause your video and go to the other side. Okay, we're working our way up into the hips. We're going to mash out our glutes. So take that lacrosse ball, get onto the back portion of your pelvis. You're going to go through your glutes, go through your deep rotators, up and down, side to side. As always, rotate your hip all the way over to the side and release that glute medius, huge stabilizer of your hips. You can, I found something tender, so you can straighten that leg, contract those glutes for a count of 5, relax that tissue and let it release. You can do contract, relax a couple times. Continue to find something else that's tender and tight. Now I'm going to put those deep rotators on some stretch, so I'm going to get into that figure 4 position, get really tall in my posture. Take a good 10-15 seconds. Release that tissue. Good. Ball's getting away from me a little bit. Let me reposition. Now I've just found my sits bone, which means this is an insertion site for the high hamstring. This is a good idea to go and release these as well. I'm sitting up nice and tall. I'm feeling that lacrosse ball right on my sits bone, and I'm just kind of going around all the corners of it. Behind it, to the outside of it, in front of it, even a little bit on the inside. Okay, good job. You've got another side to do, so pause this and repeat it. Okay, we're going to go and release those adductors now, like I promised. So what I'm going to have you do is find your foam roller. In class we use kettlebells, but don't have a kettlebell here now, so I'm going to use my foam roller. You're going to get yourself into a plank position. You're going to hike one leg up over that foam roller, like the bottom of your squat. You're going to bring that foam roller as close as you can to your pelvis and put some body weight through it. Now I have my lower abs engaged so that my low back isn't swaying and breaking, staying tight, staying stable. Now all I'm going to do is do these little oscillations side to side or lift and lower the foot and help release that adductor. So wherever the foam roller lies is where we're putting pressure into that tissue. 5 or 6 of these little movements, and then I'm going to move the foam roller out a little bit, and I'm going to repeat. Keeping my lower abs tight and engaged in a nice plank position. The higher the knee is towards the chest, the more you have that tissue on stretch. So I just found a nice little tender point. I'm going to try and breathe. Not hold my breath through this process. Again, those little oscillations, side to side. Put a little rotation through the hip. And then I'm going to work my way all the way down to the outside of the top of the knee. Great job, you guys. Okay, come on up. Take your foam roller, do the other side for me. Okay, now that we've mashed out that tissue, we're going to go stretch our calves and our soleus muscles. So you're going to stand on up and you're going to find either a doorway or piece of furniture. I'm using the side of this little faux fireplace. What you're going to end up doing is backing your foot away from your source that you're putting your toe up on. Heel is on the floor. Now you're going to stand up tall and you're going to try to keep that heel in place as the toe is upright. So I'm in a nice, tall, lean position with that calf on stretch. And now you're going to see me take my front knee and point it inward and outward, and you should feel the stretch change along the different vectors of the tissue back there. So I'm going to take my knee and point it in and out, And I'm gonna do 10 repetitions of this, staying tall and high. Good, nice, good stretch through movement. Love it. I'm now gonna take that foot off the mantle or whatever piece of furniture you're using. We're gonna go into a typical runner stretch. So now my back foot is on stretch. My heel is not falling in, it's directly behind my toes, standing up tall, and I'm gonna lunge into that position, feeling a stretch on that back calf. Take a couple breaths in and out. I'm gonna back out of that stretch a little bit, and now I'm gonna bend that back knee as best that I can, and then lunge forward again. That's your soleus. This is a postural muscle that lies underneath your gastroc, which is your power ballistic muscle. You gotta stretch both of them. Gastroc, soleus. I'm gonna come in and out of that about 5 times. Again, driving that back heel down into the floor. Great job. Come on out of that. Go ahead. Okay, we have 2 more movements to go through together. We're gonna open up the thoracic spine. Take your foam roller, doesn't matter what size you have. It's gonna be at the base of your rib cage. You're gonna lay on down, keeping your hips on the floor, tightening your lower abs, making sure that your low back is protected. Hands behind your head to support your head. You're gonna keep a grapefruit in between your chin and your chest for a good neck alignment. From there, you're slowly gonna drop the back of your head towards the floor. Take a deep breath in, and then come back up. We're gonna do this 4 times. Great. You're slowly going to move down. Your foam roller is going to move up 1/2 inch. Pull your shirt down, make sure nothing gets stuck in there. You're going to repeat the process. Lower abs are tight. Grapefruit in between your chin and your chest. Open up that thoracic spine. Everywhere that that foam roller is what's staying stable. Everything above the foam roller is mobilizing. And then once you're just above the shoulder blades, which you can see about right there, probably gonna be the last one that we do. I'm gonna let my elbows open up so I can get a nice pec stretch as I drop to the bottom. Deep breath here. And one more. Great job. Okay guys, last one. If you have a Theracane, this is what a Theracane is. If you don't have one, you should definitely get one. It's a good way to help release tissues and joints that are hard to reach, like our first ribs. So what I'm gonna do with this little knobby knob is I'm gonna place it over where my neck meets my shoulders. I'm gonna apply some pressure, and then I'm gonna tilt my head away, and then I'm gonna look away. So downward pressure. There's really not a wrong spot, and you know you're in a good spot when it hurts. So that's a tender spot. Downward pressure. I'm gonna side bend away, look away. And I'm gonna do this about 10 times. Now, if you don't have a Theracane, I have been known to use the edge of a countertop where I kind of dig my shoulder and neck underneath it and do these little motions. Or if you have a kiddo, you recruit the kiddo. So I've got one just sitting here. She's got a very pointy elbow. She's gonna take her elbow, I'm gonna guide her into that right spot. And I'm gonna say, okay kiddo, go ahead and push that elbow down as hard as you can. Keep that pressure there for me. And I'm gonna side bend away, and I'm gonna look away. Okay, a little bit more pressure. There's that aggression. Here's my girl. Good. A really good way to release the tissue off the first rib and off of your neck. 5 or 6 more. All right. Thank you, kiddo. That's our class today, you guys. Hope you liked it. Let me know if you have any questions. You can like this on YouTube. You can leave comments on CrossFitKillcore.com. And it'd be good to hear from you guys. Okay, talk to you later. See you later. Bye.